if there's any questions. There's the Autism Communication and Technology pilot. That one just wrapped up its first year. It was being piloted at 2 elementary schools. That's a collaboration between the special ed department at MCPS and my program. That's finished up a very successful first year. There are 5 students in that pilot that have gone from operating in a non-academic setting to an academic setting, many of them working at grade level in an inclusive environment with peers that are not diagnosed with autism. So it's been very successful. They're 4th graders going into the 5th grade, and it's been, sorry.
Let me have him. Yeah, I saw your light. He finished.
It's been successful to the extent that these students the intent was never to have them take their MSAs, and now they've had to go to the state and get a waiver so that they can take their MSAs via their tablet devices that we've provided. So a decision has been made to continue it, and that was a pretty easy decision to make going into next year. But we're not going to expand the number of students because these are students now going into middle school. So we've decided to focus the resources on understanding the transition of these students from an elementary setting to a middle school setting. We also have to train more paraeducators in that setting. We also want to provide some after-school support. So we're working with Department of Recreation to identify what supports we can provide after school, because really the innovation in this project isn't so much the tablet device but the method. And we want the parents and potential students that might enter the pilot in the future, we want their parents to have the training so that they can communicate with their child, because in some cases this is the first time these children have communicated with their parents even. So it's that one's been very successful. I'm happy to put that one at the top of the list, not just because it starts with A.
But is the intent of this then for this pilot to be a template that then the school system can use to take to scale? That
is the hope. The hope is that with some degree of, with maybe another year or 2 of success under our belts, we can expand this. There are a lot of questions, though, because this particular approach is, it is a bit experimental, which is why I took it on. The idea is to better understand how we would even identify students that would qualify. We found these 5 students because their parents had come to us and said, we want to try this out, but we wouldn't know how to even identify potential new students. So there's more research and understanding that we have to have, and we are learning by doing. So we launched the pilot without spending a lot of time analyzing it to death. And that's been great, because these students, the parents came to us and said, the clock's ticking. These students our children are moving through each grade level, and they're missing out the longer we wait. So, MCPS was great in that they said, okay, let's do a pilot. We put together a pilot in the course of a few months, and we started it last fall.
Yeah, but the fact that you said that some of these students was the first time they were communicating with their parents, that's incredible. Yeah. Councilmember Reamer.
Yeah, I just want to understand, so did you build apps, or how did
this one, the approach? So we actually, all of the technology we just was off the shelf. There was some the tablet devices themselves were nothing special. Some of the software we had to buy for the tablets was a little specialized. It was some assistive communication technology on a tablet, because the students communicate by typing onto the tablet.
These are students who may not be verbal?
They're not verbal. These are completely nonverbal students who have been diagnosed. So this is their only form of communication. To them, it's their language. They're typing into this tablet device, and that's how they communicate. Now, it's not. It's very time-consuming. They type very slowly in many cases. And they have to have a paraeducator there with them. So there's a one-on-one support that's still needed for the student, but now they're able to communicate, and in many cases very intelligently communicate. So they've gone, like I said, from non-academic to fully academic and operating at grade level.
And the MCPS Special Education Department did they bring it to you, or did the parents come to you?
Initially, the parents had been talking to MCPS and myself. So one of the school board members, Member Smondrowski, had introduced me to some of the parents, said, is this something that you can help us with? Would you like to be involved with this? I said, this sounds wonderful, absolutely. They had been working with a couple of consultants and trainers, because they had heard about this new approach. And MCPS was aware of it, so I reached out to MCPS. Christina Richardson, who runs the special education department, and we started having a conversation about what we could do to partner and pilot this, because it really does need what I would say is a cross-government, cross-agency approach, because the parents also need the training that the para-educators need in order to help so that they can communicate with their child after school. So that's why we're looking at expanding it to give it some after-school activities, and working with MCPS also was kind of within the ideology that I brought to the program, was that this isn't just the county executives or the executive branch's innovation program. This is the county's innovation program. So I want MCPS and all the other agencies to feel like they can come to me when they have things and partner. So.
Great.
All right, so that's autism technology. Next is the SCALE project, which Councilmember Reamer is very familiar with. It's part of the Smart America Challenge last fall.